Yeah, it looks like it probably is paracaratinized. A little bit tough. I'd put a better one than this one up on the lab practical. And so if that is a paracaratinized epithelium, what layer would we find right there? Stratum basal. And that above it would be the stratum spinosum, stratum granulosum, which is rather thin, and then the stratum corneum. And this layer that we see here would be what? Papillary layer of the lamina propria. Underneath that, the reticular layer. And this definitely would be paracaratinized. We can distinctly see the nuclei here in the stratum corneum. Okay, so we've got those. And how about this? How would this be classified? This tissue from there up to there. Well, that'd be a good one to put on a lab practical. Okay, it's non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. And the layer that we have right in here would be what? Stratum spinosum, and this would be then what? Stratum intermedium, and then the stratum superficiale. Okay, and this is the hard palate, and right in here, what does this structurally see right there? It's not really a very good picture, I would picture that. That's one of the minor salivary glands found in the hard palate. And we have the epithelium right there, and in this case, right along the median raphe, we would have what sort of situation? Mucoperiosteum. Okay, and this shows that minor salivary gland a little bit better. Okay, and so in this case, we do have a submucosa there because it's being occupied by that minor salivary gland. Okay, and this is one of the ones that we find in the slide boxes, and unfortunately this one has come from a developing individual, and so we see an epithelium here that has not yet become keratinized. But if we look at the upper surface of that same organ, what do we have right there? Respiratory epithelium. Okay, and if we draw a line from there right across to there, what is this thing right there? Free gingiva. And in here, what is this tissue that we see right there? It's the sulcular epithelium. And this down here would be what? Junctional epithelium. Okay, and how about these fibers that we see right there? Transeptal fibers. Okay, and this tissue right here specifically? Junctional epithelium, because that is the enamel space right there. We have the gingiva out here, and then we see some fibers that start here and keep right on going. Those are what? Entoperiosteal fibers, and these would be what? Dentogingival fibers. And how about the fibers we see right here? Velar crest fibers, and then the horizontal fibers don't really show quite that well. And so we've got more horizontal fibers right here, and those little lines we see there and there, what are those? Sharpie fibers. Right, and there are those dentogingival fibers on that slide. Show up rather nicely right there. Okay, and paracaratinized, let's go on to the next slide. Enough of epithelium. How about this organ? What is this? Lip. Right. How do you know? Yeah, it's got sebaceous gland, it's got hair follicles. Is this the upper lip or the lower lip? Really can't tell. Okay. And so up above, let's go on to the next slide here. Yeah. This area right here would be what? Transition zone. Okay, and then we have the oral mucosa over here. This would be a wet mucosa. And so we've got the non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, and then we have a lamina propria and a submucosa, and we have the fibers of the orbicularis oris cut in cross section. And up here in the transition zone, number of vessels in that area, and if you ever have cut that, that bleeds very nicely. And right about there, that's where we go from a keratinized epithelium to a non-keratinized epithelium. Okay, and lip again, and I'm not going to put this on the lap right, but since it's there, what is that? What artery is that? Labial artery. And there's one of the minor salivary glands. Let's go back to this slide again. The thing I wanted to point out is we have branches of the facial nerve in here as well. Okay, so minor salivary gland or labial gland, there's the lamina propria. Then right about there we go from lamina propria to submucosa. And how about these? What are these? Filiform papilla. And how about this tissue right here? What is this? Parakeratinized stratified squamous epithelium. And there is the stratum granulosum right there. Always somewhat reduced in the gingiva. And how about this structure? What is this? Another filiform papilla. And how about this structure we see right here? Fungiform papilla. What is this? Lamina propria. And a closer view, and yes indeed this is keratinized. You can see the stratum granulosum right there. And the lamina propria. And these things show up nice and bright and red because of the rich vasculature in the lamina propria. And how about this one? Circumvallate papilla or valate papilla, either one would be correct. And these structures right here and right there, glands of von Ebner. And how about these things right there? Taste buds. And more of the glands of von Ebner right there. In fact, we have a duct really going into the crypt. Okay, and another taste bud, and there is the taste pore. You do not need to identify each one of the cells within the taste bud. It's much too hard for dental students. Okay, and that tissue right there, what is that? Junctional epithelium. There's a sulcular epithelium. There is that characteristic tag, which is there sometimes. That would be the bottom of the sulcus right there. So there's the free gingiva, and unfortunately we don't see the free gingival groove in any of these sections. At least very seldom do we see that. Okay, and this fiber group right there, periosteal fibers, and that's not well. Now let's go on to the next one. How about this tissue right there? Acellular cementum. And right there we have that overlapping area, which is characteristic. There's the enamel right there. So there is the CEJ. Okay, and right there is what? Acellular cementum, and that kind of bright line we see right there, what is that? It's a hyaline layer. And right beneath that, this stuff, which is actually part of the dentin, what is that? Tomes granular layer. And how about these lines we see right there? Lines of Retzius. So we have the lines of von Ebner, we have the glands of von Ebner,